Hi, and welcome to our first episode on software-defined radio. First, I'm going to start off by reading you the definition of what software-defined radio is, and instead of always saying software-defined radio, we say SDR. Software-defined radio, SDR, is a radio communication system where the components that have been traditionally implemented in hardware, examples being mixers, filters, amplifiers, modulators, demodulators, detectors, and a lot more, are instead implemented by the means of software on a personal computer or embedded system. While the concept of SDR is not new, the rapidly evolving capabilities of digital electronics render practical many processes which were once only theoretically possible. And it's not new, but we now have a lot of new uses for SDR that are coming up in the hacker community, and that is actually why I'm starting this series. At the North Pole, I'm responsible for a lot of Santa's network security, communications security. So I'm going to have a few podcasts, or YouTube or podcasts, coming out on these topics, and each one will be done as a series such as this one, this will be the first of SDR and many more to come. Now, I have some receive-only SDRs, right? Some various ones, a little bit different, but they're all pretty much the same. And there's one thing you're going to see very, very common. If you look at the chipset at the bottom of this one, the chipset called out on this one, the chipsets called out on this one. Now, many, not all, also come with a remote control as if it's a TV. Change the channel, volume, record, power on, mute. That's because these chipsets were originally designed and used for digital video broadcast television. You can use an SDR. It's more or less repurposing the same chip for digital broadcast television to listen to software-defined radio. Your favorite FM stations, your news channels on AM, police scanner frequencies, police band frequencies, air traffic control frequencies. Pick and choose. All it really difference is the driver on the computer. You can load the driver for digital video, or you can load the driver for software-defined radio. Many times you cannot have both drivers loaded at the same time, as one overwrites the other. So you don't have to have a fancy TV if you have a laptop with one of these, and you can pick up your local free high-definition television stations. Now, many of them come with the antenna in a cable that looks similar to this. When it's a fixed height, it's optimized most of the time for a specific frequency. So it's nice to look when you place your order of when it's a fixed height antenna, what frequency is it optimized for? Where this one is a telescopic antenna, it would be optimized for a range of frequencies. Now, just because it's optimized for a specific frequency or a range of frequencies does not mean you can't listen to something else that's not listed. It just depends on how strong of the signal is in your area and what you're looking for. Not really much other than that. Now, I said these that I was holding, or I think I said, were receive only. There are some that can also transmit, and I'm about to show you those, but first I'm going to show you another antenna type. This is a 4-inch antenna. It has red tape on the back so you can stick it in your car or truck window. Comes with a BNC connector, and we'll discuss connectors on another episode. That I would now plug this end into my SDR, and I can now drive around receiving flight info, GPS info, police scanner, radio, whatever my SDR is capable of within the range of the vehicle I'm driving. I'm going to set this antenna aside. Now, before I go into too much more detail, I want to show the benefits of different sizes. These we will come back to in other episodes. Now right here is what we call a single board computer, SBC, and this particular model of a single board computer is the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Raspberry Pi, in my opinion, is the most popular and mainstream single board computer available on the market. They were originally created as an inexpensive computers. You can find these anywhere from $30 to $40 depending on which model of Raspberry Pi you want. Assuming that you want wireless, you can go all the way down to $10 or $15. Just each one has lesser processing and memory capabilities, but it's the same board. Now, if you're okay without it being wireless, they have $5 versions as well. So, what if I wanted to receive two frequencies at the same time using two separate SDRs? As you can see, they don't fit nicely together, and if you stack them, not only do they also not fit nicely, however, these get very hot and it will not allow enough air in between them if you stacked them for them to keep cool enough. So I am setting up a specific Raspberry Pi that will be covered on another episode that will be in my truck. I have a pickup truck that will be receiving two specific air frequency bands, like for your local air traffic of airplanes. And I'm also going to plug in a USB GPS antenna so I can monitor my own GPS position as I drive around receiving different bands. I said about some antennas are fixed frequency or optimized to a specific frequency. Well, these two are, and I labeled this case for each frequency, and this is what I'll be using in my vehicle with this inside to receive the airband frequencies that I mentioned. Now, if we go back to these that are a little bit bigger and can't be side by side or top and bottom on our USB ports, we get a 3 or 6 inch USB extension with a very thick shielding, and we can plug our dongle in the end of this and still get the same effect we were looking for and not hogging up our USB ports. Now those were the receive only ones. There's a lot out there. Set this part aside. All right, now I'll show you a couple that are receive and transmit. Keep in mind, I now have to tell you for your country, whatever your FCC equivalent is, you have to make sure you stay within what you're legally allowed to transmit. You can really do some harm if you transmit on a frequency you're legally not allowed to. And it's up to you to find out what the rules are in your own area. So many hackers go to the HackRF1 for all sorts of software-defined radio exploitation and hacking. When I say hacking, this is a device that can be used to steal a car. I can also use this as a way to get into your 802.11 networks, which is your computer network. Even though I've been talking all about radio frequency, your wireless router transmit on a specific frequency, and if you do know what you're doing, you can use one of these to get into it. Other people have used these for cell phone attacks, GSM attacks, GPS spoofing, and majority of those we'll cover in separate episodes, like how they're done, why they're done, what tools are used to do them. Again, it may not be legal in your area to do it, so please be advised it's up to you to figure out what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So if I open up this box, product by Great Scott Gadgets, always a tongue twister for me, you see it comes with a nice black case. Now, All the hardware for this is open sourced. What does that mean? Anybody with an electronics background or understanding of circuit boards can make their own. This one is not made by Great Scott Gadgets, and this one is. Great Scott Gadgets is an American company, and they manufacture and produce these in America. However, since Mike Osman posted his plans for the circuitry online for anybody to use or do with, the other one that I have without a case is from China. You can get these on eBay for about half the price. Now, the Great Scott Gadgets HackRF one is $300 average, and then you add the antenna, it's another $15 to $30 depending on the antenna you get. It's a telescopic antenna. This is called an ANT 500. And when you're starting out with a HackRF one, this is your go-to antenna to get you started. Now, they both come with USB cables, so I'm going to open up the box that the Chinese knockoff brand came in, and I say brand because it's really not a brand. Also notice where the Great Scott Gadgets came with protectors over its connectors, the Chinese brand did not. Now, if you're willing to pay more, you can get case options. So the case option that I got were just 2 pieces of Lexan cut out that will go over the top and bottom, but not protected all the way around. It still has the same buttons and LED lights, and it does work the same. I was able to flash the Chinese version with the same firmware of the brand named HackRF one. And like I said, they both come with USB cables. This one, without extra money, came with an antenna. And you can get these for very, very inexpensively on eBay. Now, this is just a generic telescopic antenna that I bought off Amazon. And I've been using it as the antenna for the one I bought on eBay. These have transmit and receive capabilities exactly the same, and I will show future episodes of how they perform against each other. And there are some attacks that require 2 HackRF ones to successfully pull off the attack. Now, the other thing I did, and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, see this little red rubbery piece? It's the same that was on the HackRF one that's used to cover and protect and keep the dirt out of these connectors. I ordered a pack of 100 of these for less than $2 shipped from China on eBay. Now, usually when they're that cheap on eBay coming from China, it takes a while for it to receive. I'm a patient guy and I'm in no hurry. And it'll give me plenty more to put on my other devices when they don't have protectors. Now, this is a very interesting antenna. Now, if we go back to this receive-only dongle, rtl-sdr.com, you can go on their website and learn all you would ever dream about SDR, including the HackRF. They have many articles on the HackRF, what it's capable of, what it can do, and this one as a receive-only, they have many articles on this. Now, I bought this antenna from their website. It's kind of like your rabbit ears, right? Remember back when we had rabbit ears on our TV, and I said this can be used for receiving digital TV signals free in your area. And you just screw it on, there you go, and it would mount up, it would do its thing. Happy, happy, happy. Now, that covers our intro on what a software-defined radio is, what you might be able to use it for, and we will post more videos on this topic. We appreciate you tuning in to us. We know you could be watching or doing anything you want, but you're here with us and we appreciate that. Please share us on social media, click the subscribe button below, and stay tuned for future episodes to come. Not just on software-defined radio, but on many other IT or topics that we choose to produce on. Thank you.